Good evening. The Krypton Factor is in search of a super person, someone who proves themselves to be best at a whole range of mental, physical and psychological tests. A quick word about the scoring. At the end of each of our 5 sections, individual scores will be fed into our master scoreboard here, and at the end of the programme, each individual's total will form their Krypton Factor, and the person with the highest Krypton Factor will go through to a semi-final place. So let's go straight into our first section, which is an intelligence test. It's a test of short-term memory span. And in a moment, contestants, I shall ask you to put on your headphones, and you will hear a series of numbers read to you. All I want you to do is to repeat those numbers to me backwards. So if you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, you say to me 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this is a knockout section. One mistake and you are out. In the case of 2 people going out at the same place, then the one who's given the most numbers correctly in sequence will get the higher mark. So will you now put on your headphones, and we will start with a series of 4 numbers, and we will go on from there until we've got an outright winner. So you've now all got your headphones on. We'll start with 4 numbers, beginning with Alan Wright.
2, 1, 6, 9.
9, 6, 1, 2.
That is correct. Sandra Craig, your numbers.
5, 2, 8, 4.
4, 8, 2, 5.
That is also correct. Santosh, Hazra, here come yours.
6, 1, 9, 5.
5, 9, 1, 6.
Correct. And on to Andrew Cox.
7, 4, 3, 9.
9, 3, 4, 7.
Correct. You're all correct on that round. We go on now to 5 numbers. Alan Wright.
3, 6, 9, 4, 8.
8, 9, 6, 3, 4.
You're wrong. In fact, it was 8, 4, 9, 6, 3, so you are eliminated. We go on now to Sandra Craig. Your numbers.
2, 7, 5, 9, 3.
3, 9, 7, 3, 2.
You are also wrong. In fact, it was 3, 9, 5, 7, 2. You are eliminated. Santosh, Hazra, your numbers.
9, 4, 8, 6, 2.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
You are wrong. It's 2, 6, 8, 4, 9. So Andrew Cox, your numbers.
3, 6, 1, 7, 4.
4, 7, 1, 6, 3.
That is correct. So Andrew Cox is the winner of the first section, so he gets 10 points. Second was Sandra Craig, who gets 6 points because she had more in sequence than the other 2, all going out at the same round. Alan Wright and Santosh Hazra in third place equal. They both get 4 points. So it's Andrew Cox leading after the first section with 10 points, but it's all-round skills that are important in this programme, not just individual brilliance at one section. And those of you who have watched our other 2 programmes will know that there can't be a greater contrast than between sections 1 and section 2. Section 2 is the physical ability test, and that means that all our participants have had to go through the rigours of an assault course, specially designed for them by the Army, and that means it's very tough. So a really tough course, as we found out. 13 obstacles to negotiate. The record to beat is 1 minute and 18 seconds, set last week by Graham Roberts. There is, of course, a built-in handicap system to take account of age and sex. So let's see how our 4 contestants fare with that handicap system. In lane 1 is Sandra Craig. She's aged 32 and has a 57-yard advantage. In lane 2, Santosh Hazra, aged 50, with a 44-yard advantage. In lane 3, Alan Wright, he's 35 and has 14 yards over Andrew Cox, who's 28 and in the outside lane, so that's taken into consideration. He has the longest way round. And so we're ready now for the start. Over to the starter.
Competitors, take your marks.
And off they go, and obviously the two nearest will be the two over the fourth steps. They should really attack that quite hard to go over the top. And then on to balancing across the poles. Coordination all important there, and into the lead now goes Santosh Hazra in the maroon strip, with Andrew Cox going level with him now as they go over the gatefold and on towards the crawl. So in the lead, Andrew Cox from West London, closely followed by Santosh Hazra and then Alan Wright. And now to the double ditch. Red, Andrew Cox over, he's pulling out his lead as he goes gently over the poles and into the open ditch. And still Santosh Hazra in second place there. And now through the tunnel. This really needs some sort of agility to get over those two bars. And he's way out in the lead now. If he completes his next three obstacles, he will take this race easily. And don't forget, 1 minute and 18 seconds is the record. He may not get to that, but he goes slowly over the poles. He just has to complete, really, the two obstacles left. The maze now. It's forward, you go back on yourself and then through again and up to this hard swing across the pit. Just reach high on the rope and hang on to it to get all the way across. He does that and he makes it, so he will come through. The winner in red, Andrew Cox, and his time is 1 minute and 24 seconds. And second now in the maze is Alan Wright. Now he has this tough trip across. All the competitors say this is the hardest, and over he goes, but he makes it, and he comes through in second place. Santosh Hazra, hardly the energy to get up that ramp to get the pole, and will he have the energy to get across that? Really pulls your arms out of those sockets going across that, but he does it quite nicely, and he comes slowly home in third place then, Santosh Hazra, and fourth place will be Sandra Craig. And so the points. First, Andrew Cox, 10 points. Second, Alan Wright, 6 points. Third, Santosh Hazra, 4 points. And fourth, Sandra Craig, who gets 2 points. And very hard going indeed, but let's feed those points now into our master scoreboard and see the situation at the end of the second section, where we can see that Alan Wright is now in second place with 10 points, but Andrew Cox is out in front with 20 points. Well, you're hardly likely to have seen much of the wit and humour of our contestants in that last test, but those are the qualities we hope that will emerge in the next section, the personality test. Now, we asked them this week to write a letter of complaint to an authority or a body about a piece of merchandise, some inefficiency or something fairly similar to that. The one difference is it's not present day, it is the future, the year 2077. And the first person to record his piece to camera was Alan Wright, who wrote about a cooker.
To the manager, the House of Lords £1,000 discount centre. Dear Sir, as the wife of a very influential coal miner, I would like to complain about your maintenance guarantee for the food processor I purchased. Equipped with fully transistorized computer programmer, multi-synchronized plutonium injectors, laser-fired high-fidelity Instamatic audio-video grill, random selection whitebait filleting attachment coupled with ultra-sensitive built-in Magnus Pike banana thrashing liquidizers and bacteria neutralizing agents, self-adjusting quasars and anti-phanerotic cookbook destructors with 24-hour tachometer. The pilot light keeps going out.
A letter written 100 years in the future complaining about a cooker. Now it's Sandra Craig unhappy about her interstellar transmitter.
To 21st Century Electronics Limited, dear Sir, regarding my new transmitter, when trying to contact my Auntie May on Mars yesterday, the signal I received was a recording of Neil Armstrong repeating, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." I must point out that such advanced equipment should give better service. Indeed, it is almost as expensive as 2 earth-grown common market eating apples. I trust when your latest robot work-to-rule dispute ends, one will materialize to correct the fault. Your computed complainant, Sandra Craig.
And so to our third complaint. This one is from Santosh Hazra, and it's about a chastity belt.
Relying upon your guarantee on the security of your quartz fiber musical chastity belt with digital lock, 1 million units were purchased and exported by me to the planet Xenon during the war years 2073. Contrary to all expectation, there was a population explosion in that planet during 2074. The security of the belt was questioned. Tests using subatomic particles revealed that the quark-irradiated lock could be unlocked by exposure to a beam of stimulated charm. This breach of guarantee has brought a large crop of claims for damages, which I consider should be met by you.
And finally, Andrew Cox's letter of complaint, and this one's about a holiday spent on the planet Mars.
My lady robot and I have just got back from one of your holidays on Mars. Our capsule did not have a view of the Sea of Tranquility. The food was awful. All the pills had garlic on them. And those cheeky Martian waiters kept on pinching my robot's battery. There was a rowdy group of trippers from Venus. They kicked sand at me. Unfair as well, because they've got 3 legs to kick with. And the prices, a syringe of bitter cost £10,000, twice as much as on Earth. Next year, we'll just take the caravan to the moon as usual.
So a very difficult section indeed for our contestants, and once again we asked the Scantel Market Research Organisation to take those recordings you've just watched out to 20 cities and towns throughout Great Britain for a public opinion poll, and we can now give you the results of the personality test. Of those interviewed, the highest number, 33%, put Andrew Cox top, so he gets 10 points for his holiday on Mars. 29% went for Santosh Hazra. He came second with 6 points for his chastity belt. 22% went for Alan Wright. Third, 4 points for his cooker complaint. 16%, Sandra Craig, so she gets 2 points in fourth place for her interstellar transmitter. And we shall now feed all those points into our master scoreboard to see the situation at the end of that section, where we've got 2 contestants tying in second place, Alan Wright and Santosh Hazra with 14 points, but out in the lead still at the moment is Andrew Cox with 30 points. And we move straight in then to the fourth section. This is a test to measure the observational and perceptive skills of our contestants. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to turn and look at your screens. You will see a clip of film which you should watch carefully, listen to carefully, because when it's over I shall ask you detailed questions about that film. So if you would turn now, face your screens, watch and listen carefully.
The Orient Express will depart from platform 1 at 9 p.m. for Ozon, Sofia, Belgrade, Zagreb, Brod, Trieste, Venice, Milan, Lausanne, Basel, Paris, Calais, with connections for London.
My friend has been urgently called to London on a matter of international importance, and I have given him my personal assurance that you will secure an accommodation for him on the coach to Calais.
But, Signor Bianchi, I've already...
Excuse me, gentlemen, but Mr. Ratchet has reservations, and we'd be grateful if we could board immediately.
Ah, Mr. Ratchet. Welcome to the number 10. Mr. Beddoes, the lower berth in number 1. Mr. McQueen, the lower berth in number 4.
Better than the hotel.
I shall probably keep the menu as a souvenir.
Hector, I ordered 3 Islamic 13th century perforated pottery bowls and 6 beakers. He delivered only 5 beakers, and one of the bowls arrived chipped, which it was not when I paid for it.
Hi, my name's Hardman. Call me Dick.
Pasquarelli. Call me Gino. Beddoes. Mr. Beddoes.
Ah, for the pen of a Balzac. For 3 days, all these people, these total strangers, meet in a single train whose engine controls their destiny.
Oh, yes, I know. We are both envious of the husband.
Is the husband as British as his tweeds?
Oh, heaven forbid. He's a hot-blooded Hungarian. If you but look at his wife, he would cease to be a diplomat.
Thank God we are not young.
Well, that, of course, was a clip from the film Murder on the Orient Express. You'll get 3 questions each on it, 2 points for the correct answer. You will get an either-or question, a visual question, and a question on the dialogue. So, we shall start with you, Alan Wright. Did the Orient Express call at Bern, Bonn, or Basel?
Bonn.
You're wrong, it called at Basel. No points there. How many policemen were there on patrol at the station at the start of the film?
2.
2 is correct, 2 points. At what time was the Orient Express due to leave?
No idea.
9 p.m, so just 2 points there. On to Sandra Craig. Did the Orient Express call at Budapest, Bratislava, or Belgrade?
Belgrade.
Belgrade is correct, 2 points. How many trunks were carried by the Arabian porters at the beginning of the film?
3.
Is correct, 2 more points. By what number did the conductor refer to the train?
9. 92.
Nearly, it was number 10, no points there. On to Santosh Hazra. Did the Orient Express call at Lausanne, Lyon, or Livorno?
Livorno.
Wrong, Lausanne, no points. What was Monsieur Poirot eating at the end of that excerpt?
No idea.
He was eating bread, no points. Which berth was allocated to Mr. Beddoes, who was the first person to board the train?
Number 10.
No, it was lower 1. I would have taken 1. No points. On to Andrew Cox. Did the Orient Express call at Verona, Vienna, or Venice?
Vienna.
Wrong, it was Venice. What did Monsieur Poirot use his napkin for before he ate the bread at the end of the film?
He cleaned his cutlery.
He did wipe his cutlery, correct, 2 points. How many Islamic bowls did Mr. Ratchet order?
6.
You're wrong. He ordered 3. Well, there were a possible 6 points available to you all there. Sandra Craig got the most with 4 points, but there are now 4 points more available to you. You'll remember in that film a chef at the table of the Orient Express. We want you now to identify that chef, and you've got 9 chefs to choose from. One of these 9 chefs was the actual chef on the film you saw, Murder on the Orient Express. So have a good hard look at those 9, because they'll now parade in front of you, line up once more, and I want you to decide which of them is the chef you saw in the film. So as they line up, have one last hard look, because in a moment I'm going to ask you to indicate which one you think is the chef. You've got indicator boards on your lap. In a moment I'll ask you to press the number which corresponds with the chef here beside me, which you think is the one from the film. So have your last look, and when I tell you, press the number you think is the chef from the film. Are you ready? Press the number now. Right, Alan Wright, you have gone for number 2, so could I ask chef number 2 to step forward 1 step, please? Sandra Craig has gone for number 6. Would chef number 6 step forward, please? Santosh Hazra has gone for number 2. Well, he's already stepped forward. Andrew Cox has also gone for number 6, the same as Sandra Craig, and he has stepped forward. So, which one was it? Can I now ask the chef from that film to reveal himself? There we are. It was, in fact, chef number 2, actor and real-life gourmet, George Silver. So 2 contestants got him and get the 4 points, Santosh Hazra and Alan Wright. So let's tot up all the points for that observation section. And we find that Alan Wright won it. He came first with 6 points. Second equal was Sandra Craig and Santosh Hazra with 4 points. And fourth, Andrew Cox. So 2 points for him. And we'll feed all those scores then into our master scoreboard to see what we've got with just 1 round left. And now Alan Wright is clear in second place with 20 points. But Andrew Cox is still out in the lead with 32 points. So into the last round, and plenty of points available here. It's a general knowledge test, rapid-fire questions. You get 1 point for the correct answer, but you lose a point from your total if you give an incorrect answer. And contestants, you'll also find that each question is in some way linked with the previous one. And before we begin the round, let's feed your totals into your individual scoreboards behind you so that people can keep up to date as we reach a climax to the programme. We've got just over 3 minutes to go as the countdown starts, and I go into the first question in the general knowledge test. Proudhon, the 19th century French writer and anarchist, made a classic definition of property. What was it? No answers. Property is theft. Which of the Forsytes in the Forsyte saga was the man of property? And the first husband, stop there, Alan Wright.
Soames.
Soames Forsyte is correct. 1 point to you. Sir Christopher Soames is whose son-in-law? Santosh Hazra.
Winston Churchill.
So Winston Churchill is correct. 1 point to you. Which hilltop church, monastery and town in Italy was a key German defence point in 1944? Interrupted by Santosh Hazra.
Monte Cristo.
Wrong, I can't accept that.
Monte Cassino.
Too late, I'm afraid. Casino is the right answer. I can't take it. We move on. You lose a point from your total. Attacks from the air of a feathered variety were the subject of one of Hitchcock's films. What was it called? Andrew Cox.
The Birds.
The Birds is correct. 1 point to you. What is the bird on a chessboard? Alan Wright.
The Rook.
The Rook is correct. 1 point to you. Admiral Sir George Rooke captured what for Britain in 1704? The answer is Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar was known classically as one of the two what? Pillars of Hercules is the answer. The author of 7 Pillars of Wisdom changed his... Alan Wright interrupts early. You must give me the correct answer.
D.H. Lawrence.
That's not right. I was going to ask that he changed his name, give me the names he assumed, which was Shaw or Ross, though you're right with the author. Where is the Ross Sea? Alan Wright.
Antarctica.
Antarctica is correct. You get a point back. Who composed the Sinfonia Antarctica? Ralph Vaughan Williams. A Williams is a kind of fruit, sometimes called a Bartlett. What kind of fruit? Sandra Craig.
A pear.
A pear is correct. 1 point to you. Père Lachaise. What is it and where is it? It's a cemetery in Paris. The Paris of mythology stole a wife. Who did he run off with? Helen of Troy is the answer. And stealing Helen started the Trojan War. What is Troy weight used for measuring? Andrew Cox.
Precious metals, specifically gold.
Precious metals like gold and silver, correct. 1 point to you. Build it up with silver and gold, my fair lady, goes a nursery rhyme. Build what up? Sandra Craig.
London Bridge.
London Bridge is correct. 1 point to you. What is a Wheatstone bridge used for? Santosh Hazra.
Measuring current.
I'll take that. Electrical resistance, fine. 1 point. What name was given to the resistance movements in southern France during the last war? Alan Wright.
The Marquis.
The Marquis is correct. 1 point to you. In which European country is the marca, the unit of currency, each marca being divided into 100 penny? Answer Finland. What finned creature, a member of the carp family, has a botanical name, Carassius auratus, and is bred for ornamental purposes? Too late to take the answer, which is the goldfish. So let's see who's won tonight's contest. And there we see, with a Krypton Factor of 34, tonight's winner is Andrew Cox. So our congratulations to Andrew Cox, a fine win, well clear of the rest of the field. Commiserations to the others, particularly Alan Wright, who ran him close to the end. But Andrew Cox, as our winner, goes through to the semi-final in 2 months' time. We'll see you next week at 7 o'clock. Good night.